Now, I always knew Paris was a very romantic city, but they're definitely outperforming themselves recently, especially with scenes like this. Because who needs burning candles at a restaurant when you could have burning trash? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Zukadevsky here of wearechange.org, and we have a huge plethora of absolutely crazy and bewildering news to get into, as of course the current scenes domestically in the United States look just as tragic as the streets of Paris, France. We're going to be getting into that, plus a lot more, as it looks like we are almost guaranteed political chaos inside of the United States, especially with the divide between the left and right becoming ever so clear, present, and dangerous by the day. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was shared by Kim.com, but shot by, of course, a lot of the journalists working in France right now that are truly risking a lot, providing us the insane video footage of the chaos that is unfolding in that country right now. As many different protest groups and causes have all coalesced against a recent protest, specifically about the age of retirement being upped by 2 years in that country, which the people of France have responded to by saying, no, 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 no. All of this as in the country right now, protesters are blocking key locations related to fuel distribution. This as there are reports coming in right now of nearly 1,650 gas stations currently out of gas. This as major fuel depots have been blocked by protesters. All of this as there have been major confrontations between police officers and protesters at these particular locations. Many fires that have been started. Tear gas, of course, has been utilized and used against the protesters here. The rule of Emmanuel Macron, the infamous Rothschild banker, almost was dethroned by nearly 9 votes yesterday. Meanwhile, that same administration is setting up an artificial intelligence, technocratic, Chinese-style social credit score surveillance state in that country, all in the guise of keeping you safe for the Olympics, which probably already in some ways is being instituted and will be instituted more against the people protesting the larger austerity measures from, of course, the French government. Now, how will future protests look under this totalitarian surveillance grid? Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com, our own members area, where we have just decided to expand and grow this independent media operation with your help and participation. As of course, we're going to be changing things up a little bit here, as the basic membership will continue. The same things you got, you will continue to get with the huge plethora of value that we offer you here. But we just announced a brand new tier that you could join right now just for $99, which will give you access to the We Are Change newsroom with myself and many other journalists and dedicated professionals that will be sharing news stories, making important decisions for this independent media organization that you could be all a part of, participating in the larger conversations, seeing how the sausage is made, while helping discuss select stories to build on, doing research, and learning personally from our group of professionals about how we pull everything off. You also will, of course, get to directly ask questions to us. Now, once in a while, we are still going to be doing AMAs with, of course, the basic membership, but you have a pressing question, you have an issue regarding your business, marketing, PR strategies, information about how to make the best thumb, get the best title, get your video or message out there to the general public. This is the best value for your buck for just $99, a part of our memberships, which you could sign up just by clicking the link here on LukeUnfiltered.com. Now, basic memberships, again, you still get the members only t-shirts available at cost. You still get the forum. You still get the 3 master classes regarding survival, expatting, Change Media University. You still get a video every single day. You get that as well, a part of being this new membership group. And what better way to grow, what better way to expand, what better way to teach people everything we're doing, especially all of our secrets, than in this open and transparent way. If you haven't signed up yet, whether it's a 15 basic membership or an A-list membership, you can right now on LukeUnfiltered.com, and I will see you there right after this video with a new video ready for you regarding the topics that we cannot discuss here on this particular platform. All of this as more and more pressing matters are affecting the American public, especially the political discourse and divide in this country that is looking like it's reaching an all-time high, especially with the latest announcement of a potential indictment and arrest of the former president of the United States. This as Trump supporters carrying flags and messages of support for the former president of the United States are slowly filling into downtown Manhattan, outside of the Manhattan Criminal Court, as the New York City Police Department has asked all 36,000 officers to be in uniform and on notice for deployment in case the former president is indicted. Now, the indictment, according to a lot of news sources, was supposed to happen today. In the making of this video, it has still not happened, but many government officials in DC and New York City are bracing for a lot of political instability, as of course it looks like there is an absolute political prosecution of the former president of the United States, who has been investigated, I think, more than any other man in history of American politics. And again, we're not cheerleaders of the former president of the United States. We've been critical of him when we need to be critical. We've been supportive of him when he actually does good things, according to our personal opinions. But let's be honest here and call a spade here. For an indictment to come against the former president of the United States because he had an NDA signed between a private individual with his private funds is absolutely ridiculous. For the prosecutor here to take a weak case regarding a misdemeanor and try to make it a felony just shows you how desperate they are to try to get anything on this man. They released his tax records, they interviewed, they investigated almost every aspect of his life, and the worst thing you have on this man, a politician in that case, is the fact that he had a private NDA deal with somebody with his own private funds. This is ridiculous. And according to some anonymous sources, a lot of people, even in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, see it that way as well, as allegedly there's chaos inside of that office and a lot of pressure internally for the district attorney there to drop the charges, which are absolutely ridiculous. But it looks like the district attorney there, who has been financed by a billionaire, is sticking strong and has just issued another message saying that specifically he will not be intimidated, as of course many members of Congress have been asking for hearings regarding this specific political prosecution. This as the former president of the United States is on the offensive today, launching an attack against, quote, Stormy Horseface Daniels, as he calls her, for what he is describing a, quote, extortion plot, specifically posting a video on Truth Social describing a lot of people involved here in this prosecution, quote, sick people. He went after his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, calling him, quote, a serial liar. And of course, he also launched a lot of attacks against the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, for mentioning some of the very curious details surrounding this entire indictment, leaving a lot of people asking the question, why is he taking this opportunity to attack his fellow Republicans? This as also a lot of fellow Republicans that previously attacked him, individuals like John Bolton, Mike Pence, and even Nikki Haley are coming to his defense here and detailing how this is a political prosecution. Chris Rock also had some very interesting comments surrounding this matter, saying that arresting Trump, quote, will make him more popular than ever. This is a sentiment also issued by a lot of other pundits and commentators, and even individuals like Elon Musk that said similar things. And I would absolutely have to agree with them with that particular assessment. This is, I think it's fair to say, that the justice system has been absolutely weaponized against Trump supporters. Right now, there's a memer being charged with very serious charges that could land him 10 years in jail for posting fake memes regarding an election. There's individuals of Trump's cabinet, of major Trump supporters, that allegedly lied to Congress, that were punished to the fullest extent of the law. Meanwhile, fellow Democrats keep lying to Congress with absolutely no punishment at all. I think it's fair to say that overwhelmingly the powers that be, the establishment, the billionaires that have bought off the district attorneys, have been using the justice system to punish people for their larger political ideas and their political opponents. And if you continue to do so to the point where the former president of the United States is arrested, you are creating absolutely unstable political times in this country that destroys any rational political discourse and incentivizes more and more radicalization, which social media has been, of course, using algorithms for pushing people further and further off of the political spectrum. And as more and more Americans see their fellow neighbors as enemies, it's hard not to think that this was a part of some larger designated plot and plan meant to, of course, divide this nation in order for it to be more easily conquerable. There's now mainline comedians talking about an actual civil conflict between Republicans and Democrats in this country. Comedians even describing in great detail how they think it would allegedly go for them, casually describing how the American government would use drones to blow up Americans. And even though this was a satirical comedy bit, it hit homes at some of the rhetoric that's being shared by, of course, the corporate media, as more and more politically radicalized individuals on the left and right are not only becoming more hyperbolic with their statements, but radicalized by the echo chambers all around them, as prominent people on the left and right have issued sentiments that, as the Daily Mail reports, state that, quote, if there's a civil war, I'm fighting, according to, of course, people from the extreme sides of this political spectrum, which, again, to be clear, frank, and honest with you guys, I'm not a fan of either side. They're both statists. I think it's fair to say one side is being punished way more than the other one by the other side. I think it's fair to say that there's definitely a clear disadvantage for one of the sides. But I think speaking for a large portion of Americans here who don't vote, that would say this is absolutely ridiculous and stupid. There's so many horrible things that are happening right now. There's so many bad people hurting the American people, destroying our livelihood, destroying the prospects of having a good, healthy, happy life. And for us to be focusing on seeing each other as fellow Americans as enemies is ridiculous, and in my opinion could be tied into a larger fifth generational warfare plot of subversion that I think is worth talking about, which, again, if there would be a potential conflict between the left and right in this country, it would be awful. It would be horrendous. It would be something that shouldn't be glorified. It would be absolutely hell on earth, as of course, U.S. gun ownership outnumbers the Taliban 23,000 to 1. The Taliban that, of course, defeated the U.S. military in Afghanistan. And I think with these kind of statistics, it would be imperative to tone down the larger political divisive rhetoric in this country and to try not to escalate things for, of course, the sake, sanity, and well-being of everyone. Now, this whole idea of a domestic civil conflict, I think, should be treated a lot more seriously. I think we should be having a lot more conversations about this, since, of course, the conversations, the ingredients that have brought us here are all being added to the melting pot. And I think it's definitely time to kind of stop adding fuel to this larger fire. But again, that's just my perspective, which, if you thought was right, share this video with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever. If you thought I was wrong and you want to convince me of either side, let me know why I was wrong, what side I should be convinced of down in the comment section below. I always appreciate the constructive criticism. I always appreciate that honest conversations. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively participating and sharing these videos. And that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more on wearechange.org. One more video coming your way on lukeunfiltered.com. See you there.